What were you gonna say, old man? Oh wait, he's dead, Naruto would say as he would chuckle, going on to turn back towards Team 7 as Sakura would look at him with a look of fear in her eyes, like she had just seen Orochimaru in the Forest of Death. Sasuke would stare at Naruto and see an aura of just like of a reaper behind him. Like, you guys know how in the original story of Naruto always has the nine tails behind him and it's like the roar and stuff. Naruto in this timeline is gonna have like a reaper like thing with white skin, like kind of looking like Hidan when he turns on his Jashin mode, but it's like literally a reaper. It just looks so freaking creepy. But the point is, Naruto would make his way towards the team, and Kakashi, seeing that from Naruto, would think back to his what's the word I'm looking for? Anbu days. He would think back to his Anbu days and just stare at Naruto's back as they would make their way back towards the village. The trip back would be fairly quiet considering what just took place, and Naruto would wonder what the heck's wrong with them. Like, why do they seem so shaken up about it? As they're getting closer and closer to the village, Naruto would ask, "What's your guys' deal? You guys are so shaken up about me killing a bunch of crooks. You act like you guys wanted them to live or something." As Sakura would say, "It's not that, Naruto, it's the fact that you killed them with so much ease. It looked natural to you, like you've done this before." As Naruto would say, "Well, that's because I have." As Naruto would look up into the sky, close his eyes, put his hands behind his head, and just continue walking in a kind of in a funny way, as he would say, "A couple of years ago on my birthday, a couple of guys tried to murder me because I was the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. I don't think they even understand how that works. They called me a demon and beat me mercilessly. I was gonna die that day, you know? But luckily, fate had its own plans. I survived, I killed them, and I realized that in this world, it's kill or be killed. The strong survive, the weak die." Naruto hearing that, or sorry, Sasuke hearing that would think, "I bet that's the kind of ideology Itachi had when he killed my clan." Sasuke would hear that, get madder at Itachi, but also dislike Naruto even more, thinking that he lives by probably the same philosophy, if not the same exact one. That being said, Sasuke would kind of just go on to ignore Naruto, and the weird feeling that he has is they would finally make their way towards the village, and once there, they make their way towards Hiruzen's office, where they all explain what went down during the mission, and Hiruzen and Kakashi would stay back to talk about Naruto's new showings of power, with Kakashi saying that he feels like Naruto has some sort of immortality or something that allows him to take an incredible amount of damage, because during that mission, Naruto sustained at bare minimum 3 blows that should have been life-threatening to anybody else. In fact, saying that to him, half of what happened to Naruto would have murdered him, or killed him is the better word I would have used. Anyways, after hearing that, Hiruzen would say, "I understand, Kakashi, but at the moment there's not much that we can do for Naruto. He has chosen his path and we have to respect it." At this point, Kakashi would say, "I understand, Lord Third," as, you know, Hiruzen would kind of nod and say, "Very well then. Have you told the kids about the Chunin exams yet?" As Kakashi would say, "I haven't, but I'm about to." Simultaneously, Naruto would be walking throughout the village and he would see a little kid getting beat up by Kankuro. Naruto, seeing this, would just kind of walk past, not caring at all, and we wouldn't even get the sand situation. You could say Sasuke would arrive and maybe help Konohamaru, but I doubt it. Plus, I don't think Kankuro would have actually done anything. I still think Gaara would have been like, "Leave the brat alone," which would have left to Konohamaru being safe and sound. Anyways, with that being the case, Kakashi would finally tell the team about the Chunin exams, and after doing this, Naruto would pretty much just proceed to continue doing his training. It's not like he hadn't been doing that. Naruto would prepare himself for the Chunin exams, thinking about what kind of challenges he'll face in there, as he would think, doesn't matter anyway, not like they'll be able to kill me. As, you know, we'd pretty much get a really cocky version of Naruto at this point, and finally, the kids would make their way towards the Chunin exams tower. Once they arrive inside, just like in the original, Sasuke would still be challenged by Rock Lee. I don't really see that changing, but what I do see changing is Naruto's outlook on this situation. He's not going to feel like, "Hey, he's ignoring me," you know? Instead, he's kind of just going to have a more nonchalant approach of literally not caring, simply watching as Sasuke would get beaten to the ground, and Naruto would think, "Well, that was fun." After this would happen, they'd make their way towards the Chunin exam area, where they originally would meet all the characters that were there and a whole bunch of other ninjas that would go on to fail. Naruto at this point would just kind of ignore them, sit down and close his eyes, and Ino would kind of just stare at him thinking, oh wow, he's so, you can fill in the blank at that point. But the point is, after this would happen, we would essentially get a scene of Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura taking the exam. They would all pass like they do in the original. I think this time Naruto wouldn't give a speech to inspire more people, so I think that the number of applicants who pass would drop drastically, but Naruto still passes. I could see Naruto kind of thinking that this is a gamble, but he's gonna go for it. He's never been one to shy away from a challenge, as we would finally get the team making their way to the Forest of Death. Here, I'm thinking that everything's gonna go down much like it was in the original, and what I mean by that is that Naruto and Sasuke are both gonna bicker maybe a little bit about who should be the leader, but ultimately it's two in favor of one. Sasuke wants to be leader, Sakura wants him to be leader, so Sasuke would become leader and tell them the little hand sign or gesture that they're gonna do in case they get separated. Naruto after this would go on to take a leak, and while he's doing this, he would get swallowed whole by a gigantic snake from the forest. Naruto having this happen to him would get absolutely triggered, because at this point, he's literally been swallowed by a snake and he has a bunch of snake goo all over him. Naruto at this point would go on to grab his scythe and cut the snake open from where he was at in his stomach. At this point, Naruto would walk away, as he would pretty much like just be in a really sour mood. After this happens, Naruto would go on to find his team, and when he arrives, Naruto would see that Sasuke and Sakura were both at a standstill with Orochimaru. Naruto seeing this would wonder what the heck's the holdup, why don't they fight? And that's when he would feel it. Orochimaru would turn his attentions towards him, as the bloodlust Naruto would feel would cause a devious smile to appear on his face. He'd say, "You're just like me," as he would rush in with a scythe trying to slash at Orochimaru, who would weave hand signs for a snake jutsu, as a bunch of snakes would come flying at Naruto, and Naruto would cut most of them, but some of them would actually latch onto him, biting onto Naruto. As Naruto would rip like 3 snakes off of him, saying, "Was that supposed to hurt?" And Orochimaru would think, "Fascinating. That poison should be deadly enough to knock a grown man on his behind." As you know, Orochimaru at this point would rush in towards Naruto and see, I wonder how he fares in taijutsu. As they would get into a taijutsu battle with Naruto holding up pretty decently, I'd like to say. Orochimaru at this point would start to kind of like turn up the thrusters a little bit, as he would start trying a little bit more, and once he does that, Naruto would start struggling greatly. He can't keep up with the experience, he can't keep up with the unpredictability of Orochimaru, and Orochimaru would start making child's play of Naruto, eventually saying, "You're no fun," as he would kick Naruto away, weaving hand signs for a gigantic fireball jutsu, as Naruto, seeing that thing coming straight towards him, would smile. Orochimaru, taking note of this, would see as Naruto would come out of the flames completely, not unscathed, but unharmed looking. You know what I mean? As Naruto would be covered in the Jashin marks, as Orochimaru would say, "So you're like him, I see." From this point, Orochimaru would say, "You're interesting, but you're not who I'm here for." As he would then go on to blitz towards Naruto's direction, him having his Jashin mode activated, as he would then go on to use a jutsu to pretty much knock Naruto out in one fell swoop, not killing him obviously because of the fact that he's immortal, but because he knows that Naruto has like a higher tolerance to what kind of jutsus he could use, he would use something that would like knock Naruto out instantly. It does heavy damage, and it would probably kill most people, but Naruto would simply get knocked out, as Sasuke would have already stabbed himself in the leg, seeing Orochimaru heading his way, but Sasuke just couldn't react fast enough, and Orochimaru, scaring him, seeing that he took Naruto out in one blow, would get bit on the neck, as Orochimaru would piece out of there as quickly as possible, and a couple of hours later, Naruto and Sasuke would both wake up inside of a strange cave to the sounds of fighting. Naruto would look outside, as he would see Rock Lee facing off against a couple of ninjas, with Naruto noting he needs to help take out the trash. Naruto would make his way outside, as he would instantly rush towards the direction of one of the sound genin, and he would use his scythe to slash them, but they would use their sound ability to soften the ground, sinking into it, as Naruto would miss, and at this point he would aim his gauntlet at the direction of Naruto, shooting an attack of sound which would actually burst Naruto's eardrums, but Naruto would say, "What, is that it? You think not hearing's gonna..." As two one of the members of the Sound Genin team would come in and slash at the back of Naruto's neck, with Naruto saying, "What, That's it. From here, Naruto would go on to activate his Jashin mode as he would slash towards the direction of one of the ninja as his blood would go up into the air and Naruto would smirk, licking the blood that would have splattered on his face. At this moment, Naruto would have actually ended up causing something interesting. You guys know Hidan's ability pretty much lets him create a circle, and from then on he starts to actually like inflict damage on himself, which then inflicts damage on the other person. Instead of that, or maybe I'll still add that ability, I want Naruto's ability to pretty much have to do with like paralyzation. Think Stain from My Hero Academia. Naruto licking the blood would cause that ninja to be completely unable to move, as at this point Naruto would smirk and just kill him in front of both of his teammates. Dosu, who would have seen that happen, would say, wait, we'll leave. But before he could even like get the chance to drop his scroll and begin walking away with his tail between his legs, Sasuke would wake up having his curse mark powers activated and rushing Dosu, as unlike in the original, Sasuke would go on to kill Dosu with all the rage that he had pent up and the influence of the curse mark taking over. Dosu at this point, you know, kind of being freaking dead, would proceed to just, I mean, what the heck would he proceed to do? He'd proceed to die. I mean, what am I on? Anyways, Dosu's dead, and after this happens, Naruto and Sasuke would both turn towards each other, as Naruto would say, well, look at who decided to wake up. Sasuke turns to Naruto and they would be about to fight when Sakura would jump in the way and say, Sasuke, please don't. This would stop the fight from breaking out, unfortunately, because Sasuke low-key would have got beat to a pulp, because Naruto definitely would have eventually awakened the Kurama powers. That being said, after this, we would get the team making their way towards the Chunin exams, where Sasuke would have a seal placed on him by Kakashi, and Kakashi would run into Orochimaru like in the original. After this would happen, we get a battle between Kiba and Naruto. It'd be a very, very easy battle for Naruto. I'm not even going to cover it. I mean, it's just bad for Kiba. He's not competing with this version of Naruto. Following this, we get the rest of the battles, and I don't believe Naruto's still going to have the same affection for Hinata. He's going to be like, he's not going to be thinking, oh, he took it too far, because Naruto fights like that as well. Like, he takes it way too far. So with that being the case, he simply looks at Neji as an opponent and nothing else. And we would obviously have Neji, you know, or sorry, not Neji, but Ino in the background, you know, just kind of staring at Naruto, being like, he's so cool, you know what I mean? Like, the dude is aura farming at this point, you know what I mean? But after this would happen, we'd pretty much get the 1 month of training, and more like the original, Kakashi would still go on to train Sasuke, so I don't really see that changing. But during Naruto's training, what am I on? Anyways, while Naruto trains with Jiraiya, let me change the word, he would be told from Jiraiya about the summoning jutsu. But the thing is, Naruto's not with summoning toads. He doesn't really like that. He's like, toads? Are you kidding me? He would literally completely reject the aspect of signing a toad contract and would ask Jiraiya if there's any other thing he could summon. Jiraiya would say that at that point, you know, pause real quick. I have to say this. I'm not entirely positive how the summoning jutsu work, if you have to specifically have a contract, or say if you're able to just summon something with your blood and then like a random animal will appear. I don't know if that's how it works, but let's just assume that that is the case, and Naruto's like, yeah, I don't want a toad summoning contract, so he would use a summoning jutsu, put his blood on the thing, and he would create a summoning pact with snakes. This would mean that Naruto's going to be having the same summons that Sasuke has in the original, but there's going to be one specific snake. The one in the thumbnail, you know, the little white one, that Naruto's going to be especially fond of. We're going to be calling it Icarus. Icarus is going to be Naruto's snake, and it's going to be the one that literally, like, Naruto's going to summon it on his first try. Icarus is going to be summoned, and Jiraiya's going to be like, really, kid? That's all you managed to summon? Naruto at this point would smirk, as he would ask him if you'd pretty much create the summoning pack with it, and the snake would bite into his thumb, as Naruto would place his hand on the contract, and he would smirk, saying, well, Icarus, it's gonna be fun working with you. Icarus at this point would climb on top of Naruto, as Naruto would say, let's have some fun. And at this point, Icarus would literally just wrap around Naruto's body, as Naruto at this point would wonder, how strong are you? To which Icarus would proceed to pretty much come off of Naruto, as it would grow in leaps and bounds. It starts like growing as we speak, right? It starts growing to the size of Manda. This would shock Jiraiya, who would say, "What? He summoned that on his first try?" And Naruto would say, "We're gonna work well together, you know that?" As Icarus would like shrink back down and it would like flicker its tongue, its eyes being red and staring at Naruto. As at this point, Naruto would smirk, and you know, over the course of this time, he would have learned a bit more taijutsu from Jiraiya, a bit more chakra control with the Nine Tails, which means that now Naruto's actually going to be able to use that power more at will, and he's going to be able to use the, not the One Tails cloak, but the No Tail cloak. That said, we eventually would find ourselves with Naruto and Neji faced off against each other during the Chunin exams. And Naruto, staring at Neji, mind you, because he has no hard feelings towards him, would simply say, "Let's have a good match." To which Neji would pretty much go on to say, "Yeah, let's." Naruto at this point, holding one hand behind his back, would like cut it as it would start bleeding, and Naruto would use the summoning jutsu. As you know, Naruto would summon a small snake that would go on his shoulder. This would not be Icarus. Naruto would have actually ended up summoning two snakes, one that would serve as a distraction and another that instantly jumped into the ground and began like digging around, making its way towards Neji. As Naruto shoots the other snake towards the direction of Neji, and Neji says, "Really? This is the best you've got?" At this point, Neji would go on to just easily disperse the snake, sending it back to where it came from, as Naruto would say, "No, that's not all I've got." As at this point, Naruto would actually smile as Icarus would come out of the ground, wrapping itself around Neji, who, mind you, he has a 360-degree view, but he can't see underground. That's how Naruto was able to uppercut him in the original. So this would lead Icarus to wrapping around him in such a way that leads him to not being able to move, as Naruto would smirk. Walking closer, as Icarus would bite down onto Neji's neck, causing a little bit of blood to trickle down, as Naruto would lick it and say, "Thanks, Icarus." At this point, Naruto would tell Neji he's completely paralyzed, and unless he gives up now, he's gonna die. He would stare at Neji's eyes with full-on seriousness, and Neji would look back at him saying, "I won't quit." As at this point, Naruto would raise his scythe, aim it at Neji, and go to swing, as Neji, closing his eyes, gritting his teeth, would say, I give up. As Naruto would stare at Neji and say, "Smart man." At this point, Neji would look at Naruto and think that he cheated in a way, you know what I mean? Being like, he shouldn't have been able to do this. Actually, I'm actually thinking about something. Was Naruto actually allowed to use summonings in this battle? I'm not sure, but if he wasn't, let's say he was, because, you know, it's not like he whipped out a master summon, which is what the other people think. But anyways, after this would happen, we would get Temari versus Shikamaru, and then we get, I don't know, random characters fighting. As finally, we would get the Gaara versus Sasuke match. This would play out entirely like in the original. Everything from Sasuke arriving late to Sasuke piercing Gaara to him going womp womp, you know what I mean, and making his way into the forest. And then we pretty much get Naruto making his way towards the direction of Sasuke, trying to take Gaara out for himself. He's not going there because he's like, "I need to help Sasuke." He literally just wants to prove that he could beat another Jinchuriki. And Naruto would think to himself, "I guess I'm gonna start an order," since he's going from the one tail all the way to the 8 tail. Naruto's made it his personal goal to crush them. As from here, we'd make Naruto finally meet up with Kankuro, who would stand in his way, not allowing him to pass. As Naruto seeing this would literally be like, "Out of the way!" rushing right past him, blitzing by him and slashing Kankuro's puppet, destroying it. As Kankuro would see his strongest puppet have gotten massacred by Naruto, he'd think, "That's a monster." At this point, Naruto would rush towards the direction of the forest, going deeper and deeper, as Temari would be in his way. Before Naruto could actually rush at her and probably kill her, Shikamaru would come in and tell Naruto that he's got this, as he would handle Temari, and Naruto would finally arrive towards the Sasuke versus Gaara battle. As Sasuke would literally be about to get killed, Naruto would straight up just watch as Sasuke would get sent flying by Gaara, who inflicts some crazy damage on Sasuke. As Naruto says, "Good distraction," he would slash towards the beast, as it would be cut open, but then he would heal back up with more sand covering it up. As Naruto would look and say, "I'm glad you're not an easy opponent." As at this point, Naruto would close his eyes and the Nine Tails QB chakra would go off around him. Naruto would pretty much look at, Gaara, as Gaara would be in his half-tailed Shukaku transformation state, and tell Naruto he's gonna kill him, with the smile on his face, as Naruto would say, "Well, I hope you can." As at this point, Naruto would use his Hidan transformation, the Jashin form, as he rushes in towards the direction of Gaara and slashes at Gaara's arm. At this point, Gaara's arm would fall off, like the sand one, and Gaara would actually notice that a bunch of damage was actually inflicted on him. Not only was his arm cut off, the sand one, but the part of his belly area was actually slashed, and Naruto had not only done that, but it also slashed his stomach, obviously stomach, as he would lick some of the blood off of the tip of his scythe, and Gaara would be completely paralyzed. At this point, Naruto would stand in front of Gaara and tell him that he's dead, to which at this point Gaara's eyes would go blank white and he would transform into the giant Shukaku state. At this point, Naruto would say, "This is getting more and more fun," as he would summon Icarus and tell Icarus to, pretty much wrap around him, that he's gonna take out Gaara. Gaara would actually end up being at the tip of Shukaku like he was in the original, and Naruto, using Icarus wrapping around Shukaku, would cause Shukaku to not move, as Naruto, getting on top of the Shukaku form itself, would see Gaara knocked out and unconscious. Naruto, realizing that Gaara was completely helpless, would go to kill him with a smile, like the dude was 100% gonna kill him. But in Naruto's head, he almost saw himself in Gaara, like the little kid that was scared, didn't want to die, and was gonna be killed just for being a Jinchuriki. As Naruto, seeing this, would actually feel bad, with some sand rushing at Naruto trying to keep him away from Gaara, but Naruto would dodge out of the way, cutting it with the scythe, and then rush towards the direction of Gaara as he would hit him in the head, waking Gaara up. At this point, Gaara and Naruto would both fall to the ground, as Naruto would fall, in a really cool superhero-like pose, and Gaara would just fall to the ground asking, "Why didn't you kill me?" As Naruto would put his scythe back where it goes and say, "I don't know."